Okay, everyone, just me, Jeff Donnelly, JP Donnelly, jpdonnelly8.com, JP Donnelly8, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and a couple other places. Okay, I happen to have degrees in psychology, criminal justice, most of a degree in art education. I'm a graduate of Massachusetts Department of Youth Services Training Academy, Massachusetts DYS. I'm the author of Raw Motion of Political Repression, which is a book I wrote exposing corruption from when I ran for Congress at 25. So right now, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about a little bit about Turtleboy, a little bit about Karen Read. So, yesterday I watched a video that he posted about his going to Canton. You know, like right now, the whole Karen Read case isn't really looking that good. And the state, for the most part, put on a pretty, they actually put on a pretty strong case. They've got witnesses, they've got experts, they really did everything that they could do to win this case. The only really negative is the text messages that we found from Trooper Proctor. You know, that right there is going to hurt the Commonwealth's case no matter what. You know, like, even though their attorneys were like, oh, no, you should apologize to Karen Read. Fuck that. You know, Karen Read was never meant to hear or see those text messages, plain and simple. So you really don't have to apologize to Karen Read because you were talking to your friends like you were talking to them about her. And you know something? Look at her, watch her, and realize that she did do everything she could do to cover up, you know, what she did. Like, that's a complete cover-up of what she did, and she overdid it. She was drunk and she overdid a cover-up. And come on, who calls up their mother or father at 1 o'clock in the morning like that? She was trying to put up, you know, defense. You know, she knew she hit him, so she was asking her parents what she needed to do to protect herself in that situation. But anyways, so remember, Turtleboy is facing like all these felonies for witness intimidation in the Karen Read case. Turtleboy thinks that if Karen Read is found not guilty, then he's going to walk scot-free, and that these people are just automatically not going to be, you know, witnesses, which makes no sense at all because, well, this is coming from, you know, Turtleboy, who has no legal experience and no legal training. You know, like, just because someone's found not guilty doesn't mean that you can't be found guilty for intimidating the witnesses in the case. You can still be found guilty even if the person's found innocent. Or not guilty, as the saying goes, being acquitted. But at the same time, even if they are charged with crimes, you could still, meaning Turtleboy, can still be charged and found guilty with witness intimidation because there are witnesses and they have testified. Also, what needs to be mentioned too is right now they are victims / witnesses in felonies in Superior Court against him. So I'm just kind of wondering if he ran this by his attorney before yesterday, before he decided to go up to Canton. Because if he did run this by his attorney needs to be disbarred and removed from his case, because if his attorney gave him the okay to go next door to the pizza shop owned and frequented by the victims in Turtleboy's case, like, come on, you don't do it. Not unless you're looking for problems. You do not show up next door to the pizza shop that you're already charged with affecting the business of. Like, that right there is so asinine and so stupid that you just don't fucking do it. But yep, Turtleboy decided to do it. You know, he brought his new girlfriend, even though he's married. You know, he called his last girlfriend and said it wasn't his girlfriend because he's married. It was just his mistress. Or his Goomba, or whatever the fuck it is. So, this new woman that he's with, you know, this married chick, you know, obviously, I guess she's just a whore too, because if the other one was just a whore, this one's got to be just a whore, because guess what? Last I knew, Turtleboy's still married. So, this one is in the same category as the other one, and this is just how Turtleboy looks at these women, you know? Like, he looks at these women as if they're just mistresses and just like side pieces, as he calls it. So, yeah, I don't know. This guy's just, you know, he's all added up on Adderall, you know. So he smokes pot, does Adderall, and drinks. Lord help us. Lord help him. Lord help his children, their future. But anyways, you know, so shows up next door, right, because he's hungry. And he's an American, he can go wherever he wants, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? When you're facing basically a life sentence in fucking prison, you kind of make it a habit of not going next door to where you know the victims in your witness intimidation case are going or likely to be. You just don't do it. That's just not smart. But no, he did it because he wanted to, investigate something or test a theory or something like that? Dude, come on, man. Like, you're a failed history teacher. That's all you are. Like, and you're a blogger. I own the book you wrote, right? Like, I followed you. Like, you know, like, I listened to your shit. I read your shit, you know, but this whole Karen Reed case is your downfall, man. Like, it is just like, it is your downfall. Like, you have everything invested in this case, and you are rapidly deteriorating, man. Like, just instead of going after welfare fraud, food stamp fraud, like the bottom of the barrel, you decide to go against soccer moms and police officers, and like, dude, like ah, shit, man, like, come on, man, like, I would say you drank the Karen Reed Kool-Aid, but realistically, you're the one that made the Kool-Aid. You know, like, she talked a bunch of little pretty nothings in your ear, and this is the first time you've ever made any real money in your life, and you're holding it with everything you have. Like, you're just like, dude, man, just, you need to worry about your future, man. Worry about your kids and shit, you know? You need to, like, dude, like, yeah, like, come on. Because honestly, your way of journalism, you know, like what you're doing, you know, like, yeah, like I would say if you tamed it down a little bit or whatever, just like directed at real news stories, you know, like maybe, but like you're going after innocent people in this case. Like, even like the witnesses for Karen Reed admitted that, you know, well, look at them, for God's sakes. My God, Lucky didn't see shit. Lucky can't even get the times right. Like, you're telling me Lucky, like Lucky, like, it's like, dude, come on, man. You know, like, Lucky, what the hell? Come on. He's out there plowing, right? But he knows exactly what time he went on Fairview. He knows exactly what time. He knows exactly what vehicle it was on, like, why he couldn't do exactly what time. But then again, he doesn't even know what time he hits a fucking, like, a hoop, a basketball hoop. He doesn't know what time he hits a hoop, but he knows exactly what time he's on certain streets, but can't tell you what time he hit a fucking basketball hoop. Okay, come on. Then you got that old woman who hasn't been a medical examiner for like 30 years or something like that, who honestly is very confused. You know, like, she says that she only talked to, you know, Jackson, and then a couple days later it's only texting and stuff. And like, I'm telling you, man, like, even her, she didn't read this, now she read it. She didn't do findings, now she did. Come on, you're not gonna, if you're the defense attorney, you're not gonna grab this person without knowing exactly what they're gonna testify and throwing them on the stand, because that right there, no attorney is gonna throw on a witness unless they know what they're gonna say. Plain and simple. That's just law 101. So he knew exactly what was going on. That right there was his ace in the card. The only thing is, in order so she couldn't be like scrutinized, she was only brought in after the trial was already going on. And like everyone said, a dog bite expert would have been needed in this case, so they already knew that they needed her, or someone with her pedigree. Yeah, she just happens to know someone that he knows, and yeah, okay. Like then cell phone expert guy, he even admits that his research was bunk, and that Subway had to like reduce things because of testimony like he gave. Come on. You got a guy who testifies for the defense, and then you have the people who wrote the program and own the company. I'd rather trust the people that wrote the program and own the company. Just saying. So anyways, you see the Karen Reed case going down in flames. So before the Karen Reed case is over by, like the end of the week, what do? You go to Canton, you go next door to the pizza shop, and you cause trouble. Why? Because you wanted to film it, and you wanted to get publicity. You wanted to get on the national news again. You wanted to get on court TV again. You wanted, honestly, you weren't expecting them to come at you as hard as they did. And honestly, it's about fucking time that they came at you hard. Because honestly, you've been coming after them. And I wouldn't have been surprised if one of them would have actually laid hands on you and not just taken your cell phone. And you can't really get them for theft because, you got it back and it was only like 2 minutes. But anyways, you're going to be the victim in that case, which means, guess what? You're going to have to take the stand and get cross-examined about you and Karen Reed's relationship and all of the bullying and harassing that you've put these people through, which means you're going to be on the stand having to answer these questions. Which, honestly, you're lucky right now that the Commonwealth didn't call you in as a witness against Karen Reed. Because, oh my God, that would have been beautiful. And honestly, I think that would have actually benefited you if the Commonwealth would have actually called you in there to be a witness. Because, realistically, it would have actually put you on court TV and actually made you a household name. And not just as an expert or not just as a commentary, but actually as part of the case. That would have actually been great for you, as if you could have actually been on the witness stand, which, weren't you supposed to be on the witness stand? I think the only reason why they didn't want you on the witness stand, at least Karen Reed, is because, well, they're afraid of what you're going to say about the relationship between you and Karen Reed, and then all of the activity you've done for the witnesses against her, and how you're facing these felonies for witness intimidation. But anyways, right now, the special prosecutor, if he was smart, he wouldn't be filing charges against like Daniels and stuff like that. He'd be filing charges against you for another count, more counts of witness intimidation, because you did show up next door to the pizza shop that you've had a history of harassing the people in. And as soon as they seen you there, their first thoughts are not that you're just going next door to enjoy something to eat. No, it's, what is it that you're actually harassing them again? Because honestly, that's what you were there for. You were there to make them feel uncomfortable and nervous, and you just can't help yourself, man. You just can't help yourself. Well, anyways, this right here is my 2 thoughts on like the whole situation from yesterday, and something. You need to stop knocking fucking people up. You need to stop knocking them up. Okay? Because if you knocked up your mistress, in this case, yeah, I don't know. Like, you're facing like the rest of your life in jail and you're out there like knocking people up. Like, dude, come on. It's bad enough you already have 2 children out there. Thank God that your wife's a school teacher. Thank God she seems to have her head on straight. Because other words, if you didn't have a wife with her head on straight, your kids would be in foster care right now, probably being raised by like Janetti. Ooh, damn. Can you picture him raising your kids? Shit, man, tell me if that wouldn't be scary. Janetti raising your kids. Or who knows, maybe even Kate Peters. She does have 2 of her kids. So who knows? Maybe she could adopt your 2. Oh yeah. And here goes another one. You talk about, like you not being afraid or you being afraid and, like this and that. And it's like, oh, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. You have a restraining order against Kate Peters, a woman. Why? Because you went in there and you cried and cried and cried and said that you were physically afraid of her. So, you're telling me you're afraid of Kate Peters but not Colin Albert. Shit. You're afraid of a woman. So please, stop, stop saying that, you're a tough guy, you're this, you're that, you're this, or you're not afraid of this person, you're not afraid of that person. Because realistically, as soon as someone shows up to your house and rings your doorbell, you called 911. You called 911 because someone was delivering a pizza to your house at like 10 o'clock at night or some shit. I could just picture how that 911 call was, because for the police to actually pull someone over, you must have said some pretty heated things on that phone call, on that 911 call to the police. Because realistically, the cops really don't have a probable cause to pull someone over just because they rang a doorbell on someone's house. That doesn't give cause. Unless you were really freaking out with the police. Technically speaking, that pizza delivery guy could have filed a criminal complaint against the police for, being pulled over for no reason, for a false detainment. Because you called 911, probably crying bloody murder. They thought someone was going to kill your family and stuff, and God knows what else you said. But hey, so you're afraid of someone ringing your doorbell, where you call 911. Then you're petrified of Kate Peters, where you go and get a restraining order against her. And honestly, these people right here, push the limits. Dude, they might do something to you. I really wouldn't put it past them, because look what you've done to them. People have snapped for a lot less. And here I was thinking the worst one that you had to worry about was Mike Janetti, because, the he's tweaked and I could see violence in his future. But anyways, look, Turtleboy, I know that, the Karen Reed case is coming to an end pretty soon. I know it didn't turn out how you wanted it to, because you wanted to be on the court TV and everything else. I know that guy Rocco, he really took your thunder away. And who knows, maybe he might be giving that documentary instead of you. And come to think about it, do you really want the documentary being about you? You could end up like another Joe Exotic, who the documentary sinks you and doesn't help. And a book deal and stuff, dude, you already wrote a book. So if you look at it, if you can't get a bestseller on the book that you already wrote, if you can't get these, you have 50,000 people or so following you on YouTube and shit. You had a page that had over 100,000 people on it. If you can't get these people who follow you to buy the book that you wrote, why would a major publishing house bet on you to have a bestseller on their hands if you can't even get your followers and your fans to buy your book? Like I said, I own the book. I did buy the book. Okay, well, yeah, just basically from now on, I guess you could take 2 steps. Either step 1, route 1, road 1, path 1, keep your head down and just do everything legal and right, and not try to push buttons that could send you to jail for witness intimidation again, or fuck it, go balls to the wall and have a fun time going down a fucking ball of flames, because hey, hell with it, why not? You know, like, you're already facing over 100 years in prison, so if you're having fun doing this, do it up. If you do have anxiety and your anxiety is kicking the shit out of you, though, like, just medicate and just relax. But I don't see you lasting in jail. When they had you away for like a couple months, they put you in medical. Medical is not where you're going to go if you're found guilty. You're not going to medical. You're either going to solitary confinement where you'll be alone, or you're going to be a general population, or even protective custody. If they want, they can get to you. Someone can get to you, plain and simple. But jail is for like the rest of your life, dude, it's not going to be good. You're going to run into a lot of people who you've written about, or you've written about people that they love or care about. Like, I don't know, man. You're in a very tough spot. Shit, you're in a tougher spot than I am. And that's because I actually do everything legal. And I document everything I do legal, too. Okay, well. Okay, everyone. Once again, Jeff Donnelly, JP Donnelly 8. JP Donnelly 8, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and just about everywhere else. Author of Raw Motion and Political Repression. Book I wrote, journaling, all the illegal things that happened when I was 25 years old trying to run for Congress back in the day. Shit, man, when I wrote that book, I thought that was the worst that they could do to me. I was definitely wrong, because after I wrote that book, they came to my house and put guns to my head. It's not a good feeling when you have a handgun, a pistol pressed against your temple with a cop on the other side of it. You know, you're screaming while you're handcuffed with your hands behind your back. Okay, I don't know. Have a great day, and see you guys later.